Hello and welcome back. Wow, that was an especially good fainting, if I could say so myself. I mean, look at the curvature of my body. It was exciting. It was attractive. It was funny. It was everything that you need from a fainting. From a fainting pose, at least. Welcome back, friends, to another episode. Here, we are in the Bruin and Source West. Or, since this sounds a little boring, a little too geography, a little too technical, we're in the Misty Mountains. Defeating snow beast hurlers. Ooh, a new deed here. Why didn't we get this beast last time? Oh yeah, we haven't defeated any snow beast last time, because I know that we had to do that. But no less for the Bingo Boffin series of adventures as well as a situational quest here. And there is glowing camp. Maybe we might as well walk up here. And yeah, it's a stark night. It's pretty cold, but it's not windy, so I can bear the cold just fine. And here we are. Leiknir. Wow, look at this, a stable master that has a proper name. How exciting. Okay, we should enable the milestone here. I think will be useful. Yeah. Card one I don't want to lose. Not a Steldine either. I guess the troll shows. The Tam Limeren we don't care about right now. So let's bind to it. Good. Now, how about we talk to Gloin on numerous occasions, at least 3, right? Okay. Let's not start with welcome and well met. Well met, my friend. Before we start with the epic quests, let's do the other 2.
No dawdling.
It was good of Master Elrond to send you to me, Basabur. Though the shadow growing within Heligrod is not news to my company. Indeed, I sent 2 of our number northward to scout the base of the Bitter Stair, what a good name, that wends up to the gates. They will see what is happening in Heligrod. Yeah, I heard a few other elves in Rivendell express concerns about Heligrod other than Elrond. Elrond spoke to you of the 5th Durin? It is true that he came to the end of his days in Heligrod, once great city of my people. The dragon Torok coveted the riches that lay within and assaulted the city, slaying dwarves beyond count. Durin took up Mirdanant, the axe given to his grandsire by the elves of Eregion, by the elves though, and sought to defeat Torok in battle. Words had been spoken of the axe at the time of its making, words that were taught to ensure the safety and power of its bearer. The words were false. The words were something else. For Durin died in battle with Torok at the gates of Heligrod. That song is a sad one, and I find I'm loath to relate it now to you. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. How about the Misty Mountains in general?
No dawdling.
There is much to do here, friend. I'm glad you're here to aid our cause. Excellent. Now, let's continue with the epic quest as well.
No dawdling.
It has been a while, hasn't it? Nazgul? One of the 9 ring wraiths they spoke of at the Council of Elrond? I have not forgotten the honeyed words conveyed through one of those riders to us back at the Lonely Mountain. Such poison. Exactly. They wished us to betray old Bilbo Baggins to Mordor. I'll help you as best I can, although Dain did task me with another matter. I can share some information, though. Okay.
I would be grateful for your assistance.
So you say that Elrond mentioned goblins in his direction to come here? It doesn't surprise me. I ran into some troublesome goblins up here when I crossed the Misty Mountains in Thorin's great quest. That time, we were surely beset by goblins. Sorely beset by goblins. And surely, too, by the way, yes. Now, it does seem the foul things are even more stirred up lately, and perhaps your rider is the cause. Or the riders. But yeah, the one that survived at least. One of the scouts have reported them moving far from their holes far to the east, and heard them chanting Gurzmat, their leader, no doubt. Aye, that's what needs to be done. Slay this Gurzmat, and the goblins will be in such a disarray they won't present a problem to anyone. And maybe you'll find the trail of this rider you seek. Seek out the goblin fires to the north and east along the Peanut Fenway, and you'll likely find Gurzmat holed up deep in one of the camps. I wish I could help you more, but as I said, there is a more pressing task from Dane that I must give my attention to. Understood, understood. No problem, I can deal with goblins. Even with troublesome ones. Troublesome goblins.
No dawdling!
Once you find this camp, work your way deep inside. If you can put an end to this Gurzmat, you'll likely put an end to that rider's schemes. Very well, very well. Okay. Now we have other quest givers here, at least one. And that's an elf, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is Gwemitri. That's a cool name.
Hail, friend, and well met.
Ringo sends word from Arifael of his kinsmen? I cannot say that I'm surprised. I had attempted to journey to their halls in the south and east, but I was driven back. And yes, I have this problem because it's not a problem, but usually elves don't talk with like that, but I have that. Of course it's not a problem, lady. Everyone speaks the way they do. The journey is treacherous, and I do not recommend attempting it now. But if you should find yourself traveling that way in the future, the elves of Rivendell would welcome any news you could bring back. When the time comes, try to make for the giant's table, a place of parley in elder days. And do not travel alone, unless you're really powerful, which I am, scouting the mountains, huh? Wait. We completed that? Why? I already found that place? Okay. A little confused here. I mean, we completed the deed involving Gloin, if you guys recall. And we covered this area here, but I still don't think we've ventured far enough. Anyhow, let's look around us. So we have to defeat more snow beasts around here, which shouldn't be a problem. Snow lurkers, yes, as well. Well, to defeat them and to grab some relic fragments from them. Apparently, the elves of Rivendell have nothing better to do than getting some random relics from snow lurkers whose lives they don't want me to spare. Yeah. The more I deal with elves, the more I understand that a lot of them are vicious, or at least don't care about wildlife, which is very surprising. Doesn't ring well, and also it's kind of counter lore as well. Of course there are exceptions, no doubt. Okay. Oh, we still haven't collected the last fragment. I thought that each and every one of them had a fragment, but now we have it. Okay. Now, snow beast hurlers. Many reasons to defeat those, so once you have more than 2 reasons to defeat somebody, you have to do it, alright? No. Wrong, of course. But, you know, people are happy with having a single reason, however peculiar or ridiculous, to hurt somebody else, and yeah, without giving it much of a second thought. Sometimes, not always, of course. Okay, we don't care about the snow lurkers anymore. Now let's see. The snow beasts are not very concentrated here, which is fine, of course. They don't have to be. Snow lynx. Hopefully you don't have to defeat lynx here as well. Or they have done nothing to us, or just not just us, of course. Okay, now I see another snow beast hurler, and yeah, it's very peaceful for this altitude, and there's some wind, of course, but nothing major. Okay, and we leveled up, by the way, guys. Let's see. This is something we'll decline for now. But since we've leveled up, that means that we have a class trait to spare. So let's think here. Well, pretty simple. We'll continue with our deep strikes, which apply a deed on critical hit. So now the bleed damage will be significantly increased. Is this being the last level? Excellent. Additional bleeding. Never hurt anyone. Funny. Okay, so we don't really care about the snow lurkers again. Well, we could continue this way, as there is indication there will be more snow beasts that way. And then I think we shall head that way, towards the eastern Bruinen source. Pretty neat. Quite the ragged peaks over there. And yet, I see no snow beasts. Perhaps they like when the weather is more stormy than this. I have no idea, but here we see a Corker bowman. Okay. Finally some snow beasts. Also, a wretched rockworm. Why are they wretched? I see no signs. A worm slayer, good. Why didn't we get a worm slayer for the troll shows, huh? Or at least for the Angle of Mitteltil portion. We should. Savage snow beasts. Okay. You're pretty cool looking. Why am I defeating you again? Oh yes, 3 reasons. Never mind. There are ruins in the distance to the northwest that may contain treasures of great value. And how do I know this? Well, because now that I'm level 47, I can sniff better, you know? I can sniff treasure better at least. Okay, northwest, you say. Fine, we'll do what we can about that. The ruins to the northwest look like they could hold treasure. Alright, narrator. Fine, here is a savage snow beast. And we're up to 7 out of 12. There are quite a few of them here. Defeating them is not a problem. Okay. Well. Yeah, and 2 more and we're done. And then we shall decide what to do next. Maybe we'll look for the treasure. Maybe we'll look for the treasure on a stark snowy night. Well, it's not very snowy. I mean, there's snow on the ground, but not very deep. And also, the skies are not producing any snow. Because, you know, when it's cold enough, even when the skies look clear, there can be some snowflakes falling down. Okay, do we still care about those? Yes, in terms of the Deed Slayer. Or the Slayer Deed, rather. Deed Slayer? What is a Deed Slayer? Somebody who destroys deeds, huh? Who ruins them. Okay, well, since again we haven't been here before, we'll just continue together. And see if we can even... Okay, we're back at the Brilliant Source West. More quests popping up. Gloin is rumored to be in need of bear hides. Well, he didn't share that with us, so who is the spreader of that rumor? To deliver to Elrond in Rivendell as a token of his appreciation. Okay, we'll assume that's true. Sometimes rumors are true. Collect bear hides in the Misty Mountains and bring them to Gloin in his camp. See? Based on nothing more than a rumor from an unknown rumor giver or whisperer, we shall defeat bears, huh? Okay, so... That's a snow mantle bow. Looks powerful. And snow-covered. Okay, so why are snow-covered? I haven't seen any recent snowfalls. You did Bear Slayer, so we have a specific Bear Slayer deed here too. Okay. And we're collecting bear hides. Also though, let's head to those ruins there and see if we can find some treasure. Stonecolor's Circle. Okay, at this point, actually, I wonder... Misty Mountains. The High Passes. Yeah, let's read about some of the things we've already found. I believe I've read about Gloin's camp already, but let's read it again, just in case. Only here can the Longbeards still be found in the Misty Mountains, and only in this small lonely camp, built amongst the crumbled ruins of older, far grander dwarf holdings. The few brave dwarfs who have come here face insurmountable odds in the taming of these wild peaks. I wouldn't say they're insurmountable down there. Wild peaks, however, and the task seems impossible so long as the power of Angmar continues to grow in the far north. Well, it's not impossible, is it? They're still holding on, and I'm helping them, so at least there's that. Now, the High Passes. We passed Kirin Imladris at the end of our previous episode, so let's read about it. Kirin Imladris acts as the lone gateway between the Valley of Rivendell and the High Passes of the Misty Mountains. Once there was fair trade along this route between the dwarf realms of the mountains and the elves of Rivendell, but the dwarves were driven out long ago by goblins. Surprisingly, the goblins overpowered the dwarves, huh? And many other hazards have returned to make travel up through this region difficult indeed. How about like snowy weather and the mountains being a mountain? For the most part, the elves keep watch over Kirin Imladris, and few pass beyond its upper reaches into the Misty Mountains. But we did. Okay, and what is the Whitcleft? Okay, so let's look at the map, guys, because we need to know where the Whitcleft is. So here is Kirin Imladris. Oh, and here is the Whitcleft, where we defeated some snow beasts. Okay. So, let's read about it as well. The difficult yet unassuming pass of Whitcleft turned out to be the downfall of one of the larger dwarf realms within the northern reaches of the Misty Mountains. Believing that the goblins to the north would resolutely struggle to find or dig secret tunnels into their well-defended mines to attack, the dwarves to the south neglected the defense of this pass. A particularly cunning goblin chieftain led a horde of his people through the pass of Whitcleft in the deep of winter, forcing them to dig their way through at a terrible cost in lives. But using this approach, he came upon the dwarves from the surface unexpectedly and trapped them underground through the long months that followed, driving most to their death to starvation or futile attempts to escape the siege. Horrible. So many goblins froze during the siege that they too were decimated by it. But Durin's folk were never able to return to their lost strongholds. Wow, what a story. Okay, great. Yes, Snow Beast Burler. Okay, that's fine. Goblin Town. The Slave Pants. So the Slave Pants, we'll go back to them, but when we did the Bilbo Baggins adventures, that's where we encountered the Slave Pants, I believe. So they're here. No, the Mountain Throat. That's... never mind. I'm not quite sure where the Slave Pants are then. But we'll go back to them, but let's read about them. The stench and horror of the slave pens of Goblin Town are the subject of dark rumor among travelers who must brave the high pass, for it is well known that the goblins delight in taking such folk captive and dragging them down into the depths of the mountains, where they are pressed into cruel labor in the darkness, and few ever again see the light of day. Wow. So yeah, I think the slave pens are right at the entrance of the cave entrance to Goblin Town. If I'm not mistaken, but again, we shall deal with Goblin Town for sure, and then we'll discover the other locations deep under the ground. Alright, so now let's continue. We have to defeat more bears, but you know, I have to finish with that before we try to venture inside the ruins. Ah, the river is so mighty here. Well, at least very loud for the amount of water I can see. Sure, it's steeper here, so that makes it louder, but even so, I was a little surprised. Okay. A bunch of... Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a pretty significant flow, actually. Okay, here is a large snow bear. And here is... Here are the ruins. Okay. Wow. Let's see. Collect the damaged dwarf chest. So this is called Iskeld's Lookout. I wonder if there is a deed associated with that as well. Oh yeah. Yes, there is. It's the ruins of the Misty Mountains. In fact, the Glowing's camp, yeah, I didn't think about it, but of course it is a ruin itself, yes. Okay. Iskeld's Lookout is one of the oldest dwarf outposts in the northern Misty Mountains. It was built to stand guard over the source of the river Bruginen and ensure that no enemy would be able to interfere with the life-giving flow of waters down into the lands below. I'm surprised it doesn't freeze in the winter. After the fall of the Longbeard's fortress to the south, Iskeld's Lookout was abandoned, and only wild and terrible beasts roam here now. At least the upper reaches of the stream should freeze, or partially freeze. Yeah, here the current is strong, but it comes from somewhere, doesn't it? So here is a damaged dwarf chest. This chest of dwarf make has been battered and damaged, either by the weather or by blunt weapons. How about both? Collected damaged dwarf chest. Okay. Alright. Quite fun. This is just a regular corpse, if that was ever a thing. Okay, neat. So, I think we're pretty much done with for this episode, guys. We might defeat another bear or two if we find one. And then of course we'll continue with that, and then we have to venture. Let's see, this anything brings us, I mean, things will bring us all the way back to Rivendell, but not immediately. But we have to go back to Glowing's camp, then we'll head to the Eastern Bruginen source and whatever awaits us there. course, we'll finish with the bears first here, etc., etc. Will be quite exciting. Here at the top of the Stonecaller circle, I bid you farewell until next time. Take care. Goodbye.